Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 170 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. 170 is the maximum checkout possible in a standard game of darts, where the final score must be a double. It consists of 2 treble 20s and a double bullseye. What a great way to win the game. And today, we're going to be talking about what we've been up to and discuss some exciting tournaments that have been happening. In the questions, we'll talk about the ball toss on serve, topspin serves, and the forehand follow-up. I'm Jeff Plum, and as always, Super Coach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And gee, it's been a while.
It has been a long time.
I think our last show was at the end of August. Like, that was so long ago. I feel a lot older since then.
And it's October now. My goodness, how time flies.
It does indeed. Yeah. So where have you been, Jeffrey?
It's been pretty exciting for me. I've been in the US of A. Did a big trip around America. Went to New York. Went to Orlando to take the kids to all the theme parks, Disney World and Universal Studios. But when we were back in New York, Alois, Central Park is amazing. I love Central Park. It's awesome. When we were in Orlando, I went to the Kennedy Space Center. That place is fantastic. Spent a day there. Could have easily spent more time there. Love seeing all the rockets and the space shuttle, and just incredible to think that we can fly out in outer space. So wow. I had a good time.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, I'd love to go there. That would be to the Space Center. That'd be a real buzz.
Yeah, and we went to Arkansas. That's not where many tourists go, Alois.
Arkansas. Why on earth would you go to Arkansas, Jeffrey?
Well, that's what all the customs people say. You go, I'm going to New York. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Arkansas. What are you going there for? But my wife Mel went to university there, so she's got some friends there. So we went to Arkansas and had a great time in Arkansas.
I'm sure it's a beautiful place too.
It is, yes, very nice. And then we went to Vegas. We saw Jerry Seinfeld and Cirque du Soleil, and then we went to Yosemite National Park, beautiful national park, San Francisco, and drove down the coast. What a beautiful coastline, to Los Angeles. So yeah, we had a great trip. Everyone had a great time. It was fantastic.
Sounds absolutely super, Jeff. But thankfully we got you back, and we can do these shows again.
Indeed. So what have you been up to all this time?
I've been in Melbourne. Basically. Yeah, that's me.
Excellent.
No, but I've been doing some really interesting coaching. Had our national para squad camp on the weekend, so that was exciting, and that's held at one of our football clubs here. And it's amazing to see the facilities that the football clubs have, and the things they've got available to them. You know, the hot cold pools. The gym set up, but just absolutely magnificent to see how it's all decked out, and what those guys have to train with.
Yeah, very, very good. I guess in Australia, in some ways, we're lucky with table tennis that we've got quite a lot of halls that are set up well, especially in the country associations, I guess.
Yeah, there's I mean, I'm lucky to coach a couple of those in Ballarat and Geelong. I mean, there's table tennis stadiums there that, like most European cities, would absolutely kill for. You know, Ballarat's got 28 tables set up full time, beautiful hall. Geelong, 33 tables set up full time. You know, big hall. So yeah, it really is. It's we are very, very blessed with facilities here in Australia.
Yes, we certainly are. Now, Alois, I'm just looking back at the last PingSkills question of the day, which was, like you said, a long time ago, and it was, how often do you change your equipment?
Yes.
Did we get much of a response to this?
No, not much. I'll have to have a look, actually, Jeffrey. Yeah. So how often do you change yours, Jeffrey?
Very, very rarely. Because we don't play that much anymore, Alice. I haven't changed it in over a year, I don't think.
Yeah, and me too. I mean, especially with the blades. So it's interesting with the blades. Like I change my blade, once every never, basically. Yeah, very very rarely change the blades. Rubbers now. Yeah, it's definitely more than every 6 months. So it's usually 6 to 12 months. I need to change my rubbers. So I really don't need to change it all that often. And that's just because of the number of hours that you play with it. We usually recommend that you change it, say, every 80 to 100 hours or so. So that's probably a good guide as far as the number of hours for your rubber. But I think I think it's it depends a little bit on your level as well. I mean, the top level players change them, really regularly because they want their rubber, perfect all the time. So just looking back at some of the replies that we had, so it was quite a while ago, but yeah, so Thad said every 100 hours of use. So that's a pretty good guide. And Joel said, I was about to play table tennis before I saw this. There you go. So don't let us stop you doing that, though, Joel. Zhang said he changes his blade every 6 months. That's pretty often, and his rubber every month. So obviously a fairly high level player to be needing to do that. And Glenn said, I have 2 clamper straight handle Tamcub carbon blades since 1983. There you go. We'll have to work out how, Mr. Numbers Man, how long ago was that?
32 years.
32 years, yeah. So that's quite a while. So yeah, so a real variation there, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, my blade is from the 1990s, still in good condition. So I just keep using that. And when I was playing, full time, I was changing my rubbers probably every month, Alois. So a lot different to now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, very good.
All right.
But Jeffrey, we have forgotten one very important thing.
Yep.
On this day. So
okay,
Jeffrey,
that is very important. What happened on this day?
Well, I'm going to get you to tell me. So on this day, something was invented by Charles Mackintosh.
Charles Mackintosh.
Macintosh is the key.
It's not he didn't invent the Macintosh computer, did he?
No.
Of course not.
No.
It's apples.
It was the raincoat, Jeffrey. The raincoat. In
Macintosh.
Yeah. You've never heard of a raincoat being called a Macintosh? No.
No, man, you're a lot older than I am.
No. Obviously, you just missed that part of the general knowledge section.
If anybody has heard of a raincoat being called a Macintosh, leave a comment on the blog or on our Facebook page when you hear this episode. I don't think anyone
back me up. And that was, and this, I don't think you were around then. That was in 1823, Jeffrey.
I was not around then. Okay. Excellent. All right. And I've heard of Macintosh apples, but I'm sure he didn't invent apples either. Okay. All right. Great fact. 1823. There you go. Love it. Good little disdain history. Aren't you glad we're back and you're watching this show? Isn't it fantastic? All right. Let's get on to the PingSkills question of the day. So, because we've been away for a while, the PingSkills question of the day is, what have you been doing with your table tennis in the last month? We'd love to hear what you've been up to. Let us know. As always, you can put a comment on the Facebook page or you can put a comment on our blog. Go to pingskills.com, click on the blog link. All right, now, Alois, there's been some pretty big tournaments going on while we've been away. European Championships and the Asian Championships. What happened?
Yeah, so some big results, I suppose. So at the Asian Championships, which is basically like a Worlds, really, men's singles, Fan Zhendong took it out. So that was pretty exciting. So I suppose the big news was that Ma Long had to withdraw. So he's got an injury, and they're just hoping that he's going to be okay for the Men's World Cup, which is going to start shortly. So Fan Zhendong took out Zhu Xin in the final, 4-3, 11-9 in the seventh. So pretty exciting, and a big win for Fan Zhendong to win a major like that. But the semi-finalists, so Chen Yuan from Taipei made the semi, and Chuntin Wong from Hong Kong made the semi and lost to Zhu Xin. So, I suppose a couple of surprise semi-finalists there in the men's singles. And in the women's, another injury-plagued event, because Zhu Yuling won the event, but in the final, Chen Meng had to withdraw during the final. And she had quite a serious injury, and was in hospital for a few days. So again, Chinese national team, maybe in a little bit of trouble, maybe coming back to the field. We hope. So let's see. Yeah, no, but sad news for those players, and hopefully they'll recover quickly and be back on deck really soon. And then almost concurrently, the European Championships was being held, and Ovcharov had a big win. So came through with the goods and took out the Europeans, winning 4-1 against Marcos Freitas in the final. So good win there for him. Liam Pitchford did well from England, made the quarters. Last 16 for Liam Pitchford, losing to Ovcharov. And again, Freitas making the final is good. He was the number 2 seed, but he's really consolidated himself in the last few years right at the top there. And in the women's, the Romanian Elisabeta Samara took out the final against Li Jie from Netherlands. So some interesting results there as well. So that was the 2 big tournaments that were on while we're away. And then currently, or just about to start, is the European Para Championships as well. So that I think kicks off today. I'm just checking. I think that kicks off today. So let me just check. Yes, it does. So so that's in Denmark. So there you go, big event.
Excellent. That is good. And so, people, if you haven't seen any of these tournaments, make sure you watch some of them. The ITTF has a great website where you can watch a lot of their tournaments live. It's ITTV. So just go to ittf.com and click on the ITTV link to see lots of great top table tennis. Really good, and fun to watch, and good for your game to just see how the top players play.
Yeah, and we'll also put a link to the European Para Championships. There's a live streaming link that I have that we'll put up so that people can watch that as well. Pretty amazing to watch some of the players in the Para Championships. Things that they can do. I mean, the Class 10s, are just a high standard. Able-bodied, almost table tennis level, but the players in the wheelchairs, classes 1 to 5, and then the classes 6 to 7, I think, are really interesting. The things that they are able to overcome and still play pretty amazing table tennis. So we'll put a link on to that as well, and have a look and just see these guys in action. You will be very, very surprised.
Indeed. All right, now talking about Denmark, Trevor Hirth, Alois, is tuning in from holiday in Denmark, and he asks, did any of you play versus any Danish players in your career?
Yeah, no, not really. Not. Yeah, maybe at the Worlds in '91, but I can't remember. It's too long ago, Trevor. I'll have to go back and have a look through the record books. But yeah, so Trevor's actually over there at the European Championships. He's the Australian or the Oceania, sorry, representative on the players committee over there. So pretty exciting times for Trevor. Over there at the European Para Championships as well, and he tells me that he's been in meetings all day and he's really tired. But I don't know about that. I think he's probably been out with some Vikings.
All right, well, enjoy that, Trevor, and thanks for the question. All right, now Luke has jumped on using the Google Q&A app and asked a question just like Trevor has, and anyone can do this live on the show by just going to our Google Plus page. And the easiest way to get to our Google Plus page is just go to pingskills.com, scroll down the bottom and click on the little Google Plus icon. And Luke asks, hey, PingSkills, how do you normally glue your racket? As a looper, I tend to hit the ball with the edge of my racket, eventually leaving me with a partially unstuck rubber, which makes it hard to loop. Then I've got to glue it again. So continues the cycle.
Yeah, look, I don't think it'd be the hitting the ball with the edge of your racket that is causing the rubber to come off. So maybe when you are gluing it, just pay attention to putting a little bit more glue around on the blade, not on the rubber, around the edges. So just make sure that you've got a really good coating around the edges in particular, and then also on the back of the rubber, because that is an area that can peel back a little bit. So just make sure you're doing that well, and get the glue right up to the edge of the racket when you are gluing it, and that might help.
And I found sometimes, Alois, if the rubber overhang the blade a little bit, that kind of made it easier to come a bit loose. So maybe cut it, making sure it's cut back to the level of the blade might help.
Yep, yeah, that's another good suggestion. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
try that.
Hopefully that helps. Yeah, try that, Luke, and hopefully that helps you out. Now, Ilya has asked a question, Alice. He says, suppose that I'm a right-handed player. I'm right-hander playing against another one. The ball is coming into my middle and I want to play a forehand topspin to the backhand. Should I adjust my feet position or just try to turn my body more like a down-the-line shot?
Yeah, so this all depends on the amount of time you've got, Ilya. So that ball's coming into your middle here and you're trying to play the ball right over there. If you've got more time, you can turn your feet, but most of the time it's going to be a lot about just being able to turn your body from your waist and really twist from your waist to make that position to get the ball over to the backhand corner. It's quite a difficult shot to get that ball back there. The other thing that you want to think about is also just turning your wrist back a little bit. So using the angle of your wrist to get that ball back around there. So if you have your wrist like that, it's hard to get the ball right back over to that corner there. But if you just turn your wrist a little bit, you'll be able to, that will help you to get that ball into that direction. So close to the table, think about really twisting from the waist and utilizing your wrist slightly to help you to get that angle back to the backhand side.
Yeah, so it does sound pretty similar to a down-the-line shot. I guess it's just in your middle, so you just got to try and make good position first.
It's even more of a turn because if the ball's out to your forehand corner, you don't have to turn as much, but in the middle here you do have to turn a little bit more because the angle becomes different. So you're trying to get the ball that angle rather than just straight here.
Right, gotcha. All right, Ilya, try that out and let us know if it helps you out. Now, Richard has a question for us about the ball toss during service, Alois. He says, I know you're not supposed to toss it towards you and it should be as vertical as possible, but do you toss it right in front of you or should it be tossed slightly to the side of you as in towards your bat?
Yes. So Richard actually is a left-hander. He commented a little bit later. So for the left-hander, you want to be throwing the ball a little bit towards your left hip. So if you're throwing the ball here, it's difficult. It's more difficult to utilize your wrist here than here. So when you've got, just stand up for a sec. So if you're here, then you can use your wrist a little bit better. If it's out here, it's a little bit more restricted to use your wrist. So here you get your forearm and your wrist working a little bit better. So more from your left hip if you're a left-hander, and if you're a right-hander, a little bit more from your right hip. So he does say that, yes, you are supposed to throw the ball up straight, but there are tolerances that are really acceptable. And this is again one of our little bugbears about the rules, but we won't mention that right here. But yeah, so if you're throwing the ball up from here and it's going to there, that's fine as far as the angle of your throw.
Yeah, and if you watch all the top players, Alois, none of them throw the ball straight up vertically for the pendulum serve. There's always something.
Don't start me, Jeffrey. Don't start me.
No, I'm not really trying to start you for the rules. I'm just talking about in terms of for yourself, because it's kind of like you do want, like I said, you want to hit the ball at the back hip, but it's kind of a bit awkward to get your hand over there and throw it up straight from there. So people tend to throw it up from a slightly different position. And I'm just saying that to help Richard out.
Good. Excellent. Yes, that's perfectly right.
Yes. So, start somewhere that's comfortable to hold the ball and then throw it back so that you'll be hitting the ball towards your back hip. Hopefully that helps you out, Richard. And don't get Alois started on the rules on our first show back. All right. Now, Harshit has asked a question. He says, can you help me with topspin serves? I can't figure out how to do it. If you can, it would be very helpful.
Yes. So topspin serves. So there's a whole variation of topspin serves. So one is to just throw the ball up and topspin the ball over that way. So that's a pretty simple topspin serve, and it's a serve that you would only use at a really, really basic level, because if you're just serving the ball with topspin like that, it's going to be very easy for your opponent to read that and to be able to attack that ball. But what we'll start to talk about is just how you get different variations of topspin serve. So, for example, with the pendulum serve, the pendulum motion is that with your arm. So the bat's coming down, the bat's going up. So to get topspin, what you're going to do is hit the ball a little bit later in the swing when the bat is actually on its upward movement. So when it's going up, then you're going to get topspin on the ball. So it's basically the same as doing this. So it's the same motion. The ball is going to, just get the label there. The ball is going to roll forward, and that's the same thing that's going to happen here, just your hands in a different position, and then the ball rolls forward off your bat. So that's how you do the topspin serve with the pendulum. With the backhand serve, same thing. So you're starting here, the bat's going down, then the bat's going up. So as the bat's going up, then you get topspin on the ball. So just have a little bit of a think about that. I find it is a really difficult concept for players to get initially. Yeah, so just to have a think about hitting the ball when that bat's on the way up, and then see if you can start to generate a little bit of topspin on those serves.
Yeah, one thing that confused me when first learning about these serves is people talk about topspin serves, but you really should think about them as kind of topspin, side spin serves, because with the pendulum, you're coming across the ball as well. And same with the backhand serve, you're generally coming across. So you kind of get the ball spinning sideways and forwards, rather than just thinking about just a plain topspin serve.
Yeah, that's completely right. So most serves will have an element of side spin on them as well. So the backhand serve will be coming across that way. The pendulum serve will be coming across this way. The tomahawk serve will be going across that way. So whichever serve it is, there will be some side spin, but then it's whether it's got some top spin on it as well as, or it's got some backspin on it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Harshit, when you're practicing these, just experiment around with slightly different variations. Try and come slightly up on the ball, and then next one try and come slightly down. And it's those variations that are going to make your serve really hard for your opponent to read. So really play around a lot with your serve. Try hitting the ball different angles, different points in the swing. Just experiment a lot, spend a lot of time with it, and you will definitely, get better at your serve, and it will help your game a lot. Okay, now Hal has a question. Hal says, when I rally, I'm unable to hit the second ball coming to me. I serve, my opponent pushes, I topspin the ball back, and my opponent does the same. And when that ball comes to me, I'm unable to hit it. Is it because I play too close to the table?
The old forehand follow-up. It looks so easy, but it is quite a difficult stroke to play. So what we're talking about here is, so I've served, you push it, I make that first topspin. That's pretty simple for most players as they start to advance. So you can make that topspin off backspin. But when the person blocks that next ball back to you, often that's a difficult ball to play. So there's a couple of elements to it. One, it's really important, firstly, that you watch the ball carefully. So watching the ball will allow you to read where the ball's coming. Secondly, make sure that you are in a fairly neutral position. So after you've played your topspin, don't stand in on one side like this, because if the ball comes there, you're always going to be in trouble. Or if you're waiting here and the ball comes there, you're going to be in trouble. So after you play that stroke, just be nice and square to the table so that you're ready for the ball to come to either side. And then the next thing is actually hitting that ball. I find that most players on that next ball to start with will hit that ball off the end of the table. So that's the adjustment between the lifting against the backspin and then the coming a little bit more forward against the block ball. So that's a subtle variation that you've got to get used to, changing between the lifting action and then the slightly more forward action. So lift and then forward. And as I said, most of the time that next ball, that fifth ball, players will play off the end of the table. So you just need to adjust to that and come more forward and tilt your bat over the ball for that stroke. But we do have a lesson for our premium members. We've got a lesson on that on the forehand follow-up that explains it and shows it really well. So you can have a look at that.
Great. Now, in terms of your position close to the table, the push comes, you make that lifting topspin shot, and then the ball comes back with topspin, and often it sort of appears to come deeper. So should you try and stand your ground where you are, or do you try and move back after you've played that first topspin to give yourself a bit more time?
Yeah, you probably need to be a little bit further back, because against the backspin ball, you've probably moved in slightly to lift that ball. So then, yeah, just reset yourself into your basic ready position again, within touching distance of the table. So if you get back to that position, that gives you a little bit more time to just read and see the ball and react to that as well. Yeah. Okay,
but you don't want to sort of play the shot and then take a huge step backwards.
No, you don't want to go too far back, because then you're giving away the advantage that you've got. So you've been able to make that first attack. So then you want to try and press that attack and give your opponent as little time as you can.
Great. All right. So Hal, try out those suggestions. Hopefully that helps you out. Sounds like you're making good progress. You're serving, getting that third ball in. This is just the next step. So keep working on it. See if you can get someone to practice with, and just practice, your third ball and then the follow-up. That'll really help you out. Great skill to have. Keep working on it. You're going in the right direction. Excellent, Alois. Well, welcome back. That wraps up show 170. It's been a fun show. We've got lots of links, which we'll put in the show notes. And so thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you, Alois.
Thanks, Jeffrey. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, probably a little bit later tomorrow. I've got something on in the morning, so yeah, later show tomorrow. But yeah, we'll put it up on Google Plus, and you'll be able to see when that show is. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.